Two-time BET Sports Woman of the Year, Angel Reese, says she doesn't pay attention to what folks say about her online because no one has ever said a negative word about her in person. Uh-oh. So what have you been talking about for the last 17 or 18 months? Uh-oh. I hope she realizes she just admitted this and did so on camera with audio.
Yeah, obviously don't worry about what's going on online. I get so much love in person. I haven't ever had a negative encounter in person ever. And I've been going through this for 3 years. I've never had an encounter in person that was negative. So people online are behind a keyboard for a reason, and I don't worry about that stuff. I trust my work. My teammates trust me. And I was telling Milla today, like, she felt like she was having a rough day, and I was like, how many times have I had a rough day? And you pick me up. So don't get down on yourself. I know my teammates have my back, my coaches have my back, and that's all that really matters. I don't have to prove anything to anybody but myself.
Atkins flipped the script with a post-game twist, asking the media to stick to basketball, then instantly transforming into Angel Reese's biggest cheerleader, like it was prom night, and Angel just shut down the runway. The game? Practically an afterthought. This press conference had it all: drama, redirection, and a motivational monologue worthy of a locker room wall. Was it a game recap or a defensive stats TED talk? Either way, the mic was hot, the takes were blazing, and Ariel made one thing clear: no stray shade was touching Angel on her watch.
Basketball-wise, we appreciate it, but all the other nonsense, like, it's irrelevant. Like, we're here to play basketball and do it. We're having a hard time right now at the end of the day. Just a 23-year-old kid who handles herself with grace. Her crown is heavy. So whatever else, like, y'all want to come at her for the way that she acts, she has to build a wall. She has to have a wall. Because if she doesn't, people will break her down. Not only just because of the way she looks, but because of the way she carries herself. She knows who she is. And we ain't gonna break her down for that. So whatever other questions y'all got, like, I'm hoping it's just about basketball.
And here we are, tuning into yet another episode of the Angel Reese saga, now streaming live from whatever alternate reality she's currently using to narrate her life. Let's be real. Trying to follow Angel's post-game logic is like building IKEA furniture without the manual, only to realize halfway through that none of the parts even belong to the same set.
But also, guys, after that defeat by the New York Liberty in the post-game conference interview, Ariel Atkins had so many good words and words of affirmation to give and to provide to Angel Reese. Again, I loved it so much. You know, she was like, you know, how old are you? And just like, you know, I'm 23. She's like, this is a 23-year-old kid. Her crown is so heavy. Okay, she had to put that crown on her, adjust that crown on the queen. She's like, you know, Angel Reese is, you know, her crown is heavy. She has to deal with so much on the daily basis. Okay, on the daily basis, both online and offline, on the court, off the court, etc., etc. And Ariel Atkins just wanted to give her flowers and reaffirm Angel Reese, like, you know what, it's not all in your head. We understand, like, I understand that you're under a tremendous amount of pressure, stress, and, you know, somewhat abuse. Okay, if we're talking about, like, you know, the online things that's been going on, and allegedly some things that have been going on the court as it pertains to the Chicago Sky versus Indiana Fever.
One night, she's the misunderstood underdog, just a girl chasing the game she loves. The next, she's the unapologetic villain, sipping the hate like it's her pre-game protein shake. Fast forward to the next media scrum, and suddenly she's a walking empowerment anthem, just here to hoop. As if that explains every flagrant foul, every death stare, and every mid-game WWE trap.
Like Angel Reese. Well, it looks like she's just been caught in what could certainly be taken as in a lie. All right? All these things that she says she has dealt with over the last year, all these encounters of racism. Remember the guy that I guess, was out there waiting for him supposedly, and when the team was coming out, and of course we saw footage of that, and there was nothing malicious to it whatsoever that anybody could see. And then of course the Indiana Fever fans were yelling racist.
But here's the twist: when the stats dip, the narratives dive even lower. Suddenly, the excuses are running wind sprints. She's injured, exhausted, silenced, or unfairly targeted. But the moment she drops a double-double, the script flips faster than pancakes at an all-you-can-eat brunch. Suddenly, she's got all the smoke, all the sound bites, and a highlight reel's worth of motivational TikToks queued up. You think she snagged an Oscar, not just piece together a solid fourth
Angel
quarter.
Reese, the most coddled, babied professional athlete in all of sports, continues to be the most babied and coddled professional athlete in all of sports, continues to have her peers say, "You go, girl. You be unapologetically yourself. Don't worry how rude, how arrogant, and how disrespectful you are. Don't worry about all the lies that you perpetrate. No."
Asterisk, that's the pattern, isn't it? When the box score shines, so does the backstory. When she's winning, she's a system breaker. When she's off, it's the system breaking her. Every post-game feels like a choose-your-own adventure, except the plot's already written by her stat line. And here's the quiet truth. Honesty is simple. Lies need stagehands, and Angel's running out of crew. You can only switch roles so many times before the audience starts asking, wasn't she the hero last week? Or the victim? Or the rebel? It's character whiplash. What made this latest moment stand out wasn't the drama. It was the honesty breaking through. Not a flub. Not a misquote. Just a lie that finally hit the wall, asterisk.
Body, or is this a very special, specific kind of criticism that Angel Reese gets because of specifically the way she comports herself? And if her crown is heavy, maybe BET should stop giving her crowns. For the third straight year, named BET Sportswoman of the Year. I haven't even known who Angel Reese was for 3 years. How the does she have 3 of these? I didn't know who she was until I started watching Caitlin Clark. She's already stacking these things like cordwood. And it's not setting well with everybody. Clarissa Shields is one of the people that it's not setting well with. She's the baddest woman on the planet. The greatest female boxer.
Asterisk. If we're all playing by the same rules, and that's being generous, this should come with real consequences. A fine. A suspension. Something. Anyone else pulls this, and the league's posting the penalty before the post-game interview ends. But with Angel, it's treated like performance art. She didn't lie, she expressed herself right, and I guess my cat isn't knocking over cups. He's studying gravity. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark's getting tossed around like it's Mortal Kombat tryouts, and Angel's moonwalking past accountability like it's part of her workout. This wasn't spin, it was a narrative tornado. And let's be honest, she's rebranded so many times, it's hard to keep track. One week the villain, the next the victim. The story keeps changing, but the double standard doesn't asterisk.
What's going on online? I get so much love in person. I haven't ever had a negative encounter in person ever. And I've been going through this for 3 years. I've never had an encounter in person that was negative. So people online are behind a keyboard for a reason. And I don't worry about that stuff. I trust my work. My teammates trust me. And I was telling Milla today, like, she felt like she was having a rough day. And I was like, how many times have I had a rough day? And you picked me up. So don't get down on yourself. I know my teammates have my back, my coaches have my back, and that's all that really matters. I don't have to prove anything to anybody but myself and my teammates.
You hear that, guys? You hear that? She doesn't need to prove herself to anyone other than herself and her teammates. So all those fans that she continues to let down, she doesn't owe you.
Asterisk. The wildest part. She doesn't need the drama. Angel's alleged talent. Athletic, magnetic, capable of dominating when she locks in. But the distractions keep dragging her off course. Basketball doesn't care about branding. Not your tweets, merch, or shifting narratives. The scoreboard stays neutral, and when it's not in her favor, the stories get louder, the mask slips. And this time the lie wasn't even subtle. It was a slap to anyone paying attention. This isn't a one-off. It's a pattern. She keeps vaulting over accountability like it's part of her warm-up. Now the league has a choice. Ignore it and set a dangerous precedent, or show that truth still matters, even when the cameras are rolling asterisk.
So blatant. Her bodyguards in the WNBA, they're not even willing to protect her. Instead of opening Twitter in another desperate attempt to capture the attention of lonely men, maybe Angel Reese should open the Bible. Now, I'm not talking about the woke Bible. I'm talking about the real Bible. If she did, she would understand that the truth always comes to the light, and she wouldn't be going through another devastating round of public humiliation. It has been a brutally tough week for the
Asterisk. At this point, It's less about Angel Reese and more about the league's backbone. Does it have one, or is it just for show? This entire mess could have been avoided with one thing: honesty. Instead, we got another dodge, another dramatic deflection, and another reminder that the rules don't apply equally. Yes, she's young. Yes, she's passionate. But there's a line between misunderstood and misleading. And when misleading becomes the habit, it's time to ask why. No one's asking for perfection, just a moment where actions match words. Because you can't demand respect while running from accountability, and you can't bend the truth, then play victim when it snaps asterisk.
And she talks about how she doesn't hear about the outside noise, how she's never had a negative encounter in real life, never had a negative encounter in real life. But Ben, there's no way. There's no way she's never had a negative encounter. You see, this is proof of the negative encounter. The WNBA even conducted an investigation about this negative encounter. No way Angel Reese said that. No way.
Asterisk. A fine isn't just punishment. It's how you keep the game honest. Let lies slide and basketball becomes the punchline. Angel Reese delivered the setup, the misdirection, and the crash. The Liberty didn't even bother game planning. Why would they? She was all bark, no threat. Just a moving cone in sneakers. At this point, calling her overhyped is generous. She's not running the court, she's running the algorithm. Less player, more trending topic. Loud, chaotic, and gone by next week. Asterisk.
New York Liberty, when Angel Reese and Ariel Atkins at the post-game press conference, and the reporter was asking Angel Reese some questions. Angel Reese answered the questions, and then Ariel Atkins stepped in and she erupted and destroyed the reporter right there.